Item number 2 on the adjournment is Senator Hannigan. So, Senator Dominic.
Thank you, Alaska Healy, and I'd like to thank you for allowing me to bring this subject up today, and that's the issue of allowing the Ashbourne Community School to go to tender to build a new sports hall at the school. As you may know, Ashbourne is a growing town just outside the Dublin area. Originally, the school was built in 1993 for 650 people. It was the first sod was turned by my own party's Niamh Brennock, and it's flourished since 1993. It's now got 1,000 students, and as I said, with the population growth expected around the Ashbourne area, we would anticipate that the numbers may actually rise again. However, there is no sports hall there, and from day one, students have had to use a sports hall next door that they lease from a separate organisation. And it's an issue that both the students and the parents would like to see rectified, and the parents have asked me to raise this issue today. For the last few years, they have been trying to get this situation rectified. They've raised a hell of a lot of money to move the process along. They've also come up with a design that has been approved by Meath County Council and is ready to go. And that design doesn't just include for a new sports hall, it also allows for a canteen to be included in the new building. And just to give you an example of what's happening there in the school at the moment, children, some of those 1,000 children, are eating their daily lunches in the corridors because there's nowhere to sit down. It's clearly a case that with an expanding school population like that, they need a place to be able to sit down, and of course they need a place to be able to exercise. As I said, the County Council has given full planning permission for a new sports hall, and indeed the money is more or less in place as we speak. The lottery has agreed to fund the extension to the tune of €200,000. The department themselves, and this is a department-owned school by the way, they've agreed to provide up to €900,000. The County Council has come along and said they'll give about €150,000, and the parents themselves have raised €200,000. So roughly there's about €1.5 million in place. All that's needed is for the Minister to allow the school to go out and actually commission a tender and start the process for tendering and construction of the school. I think there's unanimous agreement locally that this is needed, and indeed I'd like to pay tribute to the work done by the Minister's colleague, Deputy Mary Wallace, because she's been at the forefront of trying to push this sports hall forward for the last number of years. We're all together on this. We're all speaking from the same page of the book. We need to see the sports hall done. I'll give you 3 good reasons why it needs to be done now. The first is, of course, in relation to the health of the student. The last thing we want to see is increasing levels of obesity. A new sports hall will help to counter that. The second thing, of course, is tender prices are at a historical low at the moment, so we can get this work done cheaply. And of course, the third thing is the effect on the local construction market. We can get more builders who are currently not working back into jobs. So I would encourage the Minister to let this project go ahead to the next stage and allow them to go out to tender for its construction. Thank you.
Minister.
Thanks, Chair. Again, I want to apologise to Senator Hannigan that the Minister cannot be here herself and taking the debate on her behalf. By way of also recognising and thanks the Senator for raising the matter, as it provides me with the opportunity to outline to the Seanad and indeed to Senator Hannigan the current position in relation to the application for funding for a PE hall at Ashbourne Community School. Ashbourne Community School, as you quite properly pointed out, is a co-educational post-primary school with a current enrolment of 1,005 pupils. The school authority submitted an application to the Department for large-scale capital funding for a PE hall. And again, as Senator Hannigan may be aware, all applications for capital funding are assessed in the Planning and Building Unit of the Department for Education and Science against published prioritisation criteria. These criteria are devised following consultation with the education partners. As part of this process, a project is assigned a band rating and projects are selected for inclusion in the school building and modernisation programme on the basis of priority of need. This is reflected in the band rating assigned to a project. There are 4 band ratings in all, of which band 1 is the highest and band 4 the lowest. Band 1 projects, for example, include the provision of buildings where none currently exist, but there is a high demand for pupil place, while a band 4 project makes provisions of desirable but not necessarily urgent or essential facilities. Each band rating has a number of subcategories which more specifically describe the type of work needed and the urgency attaching to them. The Band 4 rating attached to the PE Hall project or I should say the band rating attached to the PE Hall project for Ashbourne is at Band 4 level. Subsequent to its original application, the school authority submitted a proposal to the department for a co-funded project to build a PE Hall. The department approved the scope of the project, put forward the proposal, and also approved funding towards the cost of providing it on the basis the school had undertaken to meet the balance through various other funding sources, such as the National Lottery, capital sports grants and local contributors. Recently, the school revised the scope of the project and is now seeking considerable extra funding to meet the costs of the revised plans, and because funding from some of its other sources is no longer guaranteed. The revised application is currently being examined by the department's professional and technical staff. A report is expected from them shortly. Following an examination of this report in the department's planning and building unit, a decision will be conveyed to the school authority. I want to thank Senator Hannigan once again for raising the matter and for affording me the opportunity to outline to the Seanad the position in relation to the matter.
Thank you, Mr. Senator Hannigan.
Can I thank the Minister for his response? I have just one brief question. You mentioned that a report is expected from them shortly. When you say shortly, do you mean within the next month, 2 months, or are we looking at 6 months?